Hi guys, and welcome to this session on how to become RPA developer by Intellipaat. So, as you may probably know, RPA is one of the most top trending technologies of 2020 and it will be coming forward as we go along. So, when we move on to this session, we'll be talking about how you can become RPA developer, what is the different ways, which different tools that you need to master and different things about it. But before we get into that, please subscribe to our channel to never miss an update from Intellipaat. Now let's talk about today's agenda. So today's agenda is basically sixfold. We will begin our journey with a simple introduction to RPA where I'll talk to you about what is RPA basically, and I'll give you a simple example to make things more clearer there. Then we'll talk about why RPA and why you should pursue RPA as a career for yourself and different perks that RPA has to offer for your career. Then we'll talk about the different roles which are out there for different RPA jobs and the responsibilities that come along with those roles, right? And after that, I'll talk to you about which RPA tools you should learn to make sure you have a cutting edge in this competitive era of 21st century. After that, we'll talk about the salary of an RPA developer, and there we'll discuss about fresher salary as well as people who have a little bit of experience, how their salaries differ, and we'll see that. And finally, we'll look into the further learning side of things where you can learn more about RPA and what are the different ways you can approach learning RPA, right? So without wasting any further time, let's begin. So the first topic on our hand is Introduction to Robotic Process Automation. So what is RPA is the question. So if we go by the definition, the process of automating operations with robots without human interaction with the system is termed as robotic process automation. Makes sense, doesn't it? No. So let's break it word by word to understand this term much better. So RPA is basically made up of three different words, right? Robotic, process, and automation. So robotic basically means something that is done by robots, right? Process is a set of sequential actions that you follow in order to achieve a task. And automation is something where there is no human intervention. So when you put all of that together, you get a process which is done sequentially by robots where there is no human involvement. That is basically what RPA is. Now, what is the use of RPA? Now, RPA was developed with the vision of finishing the jobs which are very redundant and repetitive. You have a set of sequential tasks which you have to do every day, and it was very inefficient doing it manually, right? So that's why we came up with the technology RPA. Let me give you a simple example to make your understanding much better. Let's assume you are working in a company which does manual processing of invoices, right? So basically what happens is every day you get a set of invoices, and those invoices has some relevant details like customer ID, name, and phone number, amount, and whatever they have eaten and stuff like that. And what you have to do is look at that invoice and manually enter the data somewhere, right? But what RPA offers is since you will be doing a very set of sequential actions, that is opening the file, extracting the relevant details, and then putting that details somewhere like in an Excel file or something, right? So RPA gives you all of that with drag and drop options with only one single click away. So what basically will happen is you will create a RPA program using the drag and drop functionalities that RPA tool has, and create a program which will automatically open the files for you. It will extract the data also for you, and it will save the data. The advantage that it offers is it is error free and it is very good to have, right? So that is what basically RPA is. It is a program which creates bots, which does the actions that you define in a set of sequential actions manner, set of sequential steps that it has to follow, and it will execute the task that you want it to do, right? So what is the benefits of RPA? Now, why would many companies or the Fortune 500 be looking at RPA? It's basically because of the numerous benefits that RPA has to offer. So the first one is the low risk, non-invasive technology. Now, what it basically means is RPA can be overlaid on your existing systems that you already have. It allows the creation of platforms which are compatible with your ongoing developments. So if you have an infrastructure right now which is working, you can create an RPA based profile for that and work along with your current developments. So what you have to do is just create simple tasks which will automate the manual tasks that you are doing on top of your current infrastructure. There's no need to change your technology or anything. It can coherently work with those things, right? Second is the accuracy. Now this is one of the most important factors while using any automation process, because if you're doing manual entry, there will be human error of some kind at all times. It will always be there. Human error is something that you cannot eliminate. But the advantage of using robots is robot does not do any error, right? Robot does not commit any kind of mistakes. Robot will do the task perfectly as long as you have defined the instructions properly. It will follow your instruction to the end, right? So that is where RPA is very helpful, that it is very accurate. Then there is this another fundamental concept of audit trail. So what it basically does is you have a fully maintained log of what things were going on at all times. So if, let's say, some program is failing somewhere or there is some error that is coming somewhere, you have a full detailed log of it so that you can track where your errors were and you can come back to your proper scene, whatever would be, right? The next is the productivity. So since you have a lot of people, like anyone, if he's doing a manual entry, he'll be slow at his process, rather than when you compare it to a bot. A bot will always be faster than any human who is trying to do any kinds of action in terms of manual data entry, right? Second would be all of these employees which are freed right now can be moved on to more tasks which require more human cognitive ability, more skill. You can train them to do much better tasks than doing the more repetitive tasks which your RPA has taken care of, right? So that increases the entire productivity of your company. Then there is the important point which every company loves, which is potential savings. Now, RPA saves about 20 to 35% of whatever the market input that you are putting in. It saves 30% of it. 30% is a lot of money when you talk about any program being cost effective. 30% savings is something god level. So you will be, if you are an enterprise, you will be looking at cutting costs, and this is one of the most powerful ways to cut costs. Then there is reliability. So since it is not a human, it will not take sick days. It will be there at your service 365 days a year, constantly working 24/7. Then there is scalability. You can another very good use of RPAs is entirely scalable. So if you have a very small infrastructure and you are looking to scale across different units, you can take the same programs and spread it across and make it work. So that is another very good advantage that RPA provides, is the scalability factor that it brings in. And the final point that we'd like to put here is the duration. So let's say if we move on from manual testing or manual entry or any kind of manual repetitive task that we are doing, and we are moving on to, let's say, automation, which is traditional automation, which is code based. So what you basically do is you hire an automation engineer and they are writing codes. And for them to write a code to automate any task will take a lot of time. They have to understand the infrastructure. They have to write code from the scratch. Now the advantage that RPA offers is you don't need to write anything from the scratch. You basically, what you need to do is just drag and drop different functionalities in a set of sequential manner, which where the logic makes sense. And also many RPA tools give you this option of just doing the task and they'll make logic out of it. So you don't need to even code the logic. It will take it automatically and you can just edit and tweak that to make a fully functional working program. So what it basically does is the duration of creating that program which will automate your tasks, it reduces it to a very fine magnitude. So since you have faster working technology now, where you can create your programs much faster, then you'll always be going for something which is faster, right, in your production environment. Now, let's talk about the different impacts that RPA has already had on the industry right now. So if McKinsey and company are to be believed, they believe that it is estimated that automated systems could undertake the work equivalent of 140 million jobs by 2025. Now that is a huge number. If you have automated tasks which are coming in and taking away 140 million jobs by 2025, that tells you how much redundant tasks that is out there that people are doing. Now people will say that it is evil that RPA will kill jobs. No, that is not the case. Since it will be destroying like 140 million redundant jobs, those people are now free to be skilled professionals. Now, if you deploy anything that is an automated system, you'll need people who do monitoring. You need people who take care of the entire system, make sure it's constantly running. There will be operations people coming in. So it will also create a new level of tasks which are there. So for that, there will be new job openings which are much more higher paying because it requires a lot of skill. So RPA will also be opening a set of new different jobs for people to do, right? So another impact of RPA is noticed by Everest Group, where they say that RPA can reduce costs up to 65% with its ability to log data at the transactional level, and RPA enables the ongoing decision making that is fast, accurate, as well as predictive. Now, when we were talking about the benefits of RPA, I told you it saves costs by 20 to 35%. That is a general scheme. Now, Everest Groups believes that you can take it up to 65%. And while saving that amount of money, you can also have the ability to log data faster. Now, when you are logging data much faster, you can take decisions much more faster. This will make your entire infrastructure of your application, which is running, much more robust, much more adaptable to change. And since it will become much more faster and accurate, it will be very beneficial for any enterprise which is running RPA. So why should you take RPA? So we've just talked about why different companies would be wanting RPA. It saves costs, it's accurate, it's doing a lot of different good things for them. But why should you as a professional choose a career in RPA? Let's answer that question now. So there are various different perks that RPA will give you if you follow a career in this path. So the first one is trending. So RPA is a very trending technology, which means that there is a lot of demand for RPA developers now. And since there are a lot of demands for RPA developers, there is a lot of job openings, lot of good paying jobs. And that brings us to the third point where it says it's highly paying and the giants are hiring. So if giants are hiring, let's say the giants which are hiring, I can name a few, like IBM is hiring, Capgemini is hiring, and they are paying huge amounts of money to these RPA developers to come and work for them and create this automated environment where things run very fast and very smooth. So that is one of the greatest perks that RPA gives you. It gives you a lot of opportunity for jobs. It gives you a lot of opportunities to work for the big guns in the industry, which is IBM, Capgemini, Deloitte, and others. And it will pay you a lot. So if you're looking at the career perspective financially, you will be paid decently well, so that you can have a very good career. Moving ahead, RPA also gives you versatility when choosing careers. So RPA, since if you take into account any industry will have a set of tasks which is very redundant and very repetitive, which what it creates is an option of RPA entering there and automating the processes there. So which means basically you have an option to go into retail and consumer and do automation there. You can move into IT industry and work there. There is healthcare also now taking RPA into their hands. There is banking and IT, which is very, very, very crucial for RPA right now, as most of the people who are working with RPA are now moving towards banking solutions. It is the next biggest thing in RPA, that they are moving it into banking solutions because there is a lot of transactional data that is there and RPA can aid in that. And final perk that RPA will offer you is a rapid career growth. Since there's a lot of demand and a lot of people are paying, if you do a great job, then automatically you will be getting a lot of career growth in there. And since there are not many professionals out there currently, because this technology is rather new, so what it creates is, if you even get like minimum of work X, like let's say 4 or 5 years into it, you'd be one of the most experienced professional in there, and you'll be working there with a lot of money and a lot of exposure into different kinds of working environments, and this will basically give you a lot of career growth, right? So moving further, who should learn RPA? Now you'd be wondering, like, I have this technical background or I have this profile, should I be learning RPA or not? So let's break it down into 3 simple departments and where I think people should be pursuing RPA, where it will be most beneficial for them working as an RPA professional. So I've broken it down to 3 different domains. The first one will be the freshers. Now what I would recommend for freshers is to follow a job in RPA, because there's a lot of different openings for freshers in RPA. These freshers should not be expecting the salary same as the other 2 domains, that is the automation testers and the people who are looking to become a solution architect. But there is a lot of scope for freshers out there to work and to get different jobs related to RPA. The second one is the highest paying one in my opinion, and these are the automation testers. So the people who are currently the automation testers in the industry have a huge opportunity to work as an RPA professional if they're looking for a change. An automation tester is a profile. Automation architect is a profile in RPA which pays a lot, and these jobs generally require experience as an automation tester before, because they know the environment that they are working in. So automation testers, I would recommend you to definitely learn RPA, as this will blossom your career like you cannot imagine. And the third one is for the people who are aspiring to become solution architects, CTOs, people who will be working and finding out solutions to different problems. You should learn RPA in order to know that what is the underlying technology that is working in your Fortune 500 companies or whatever startup that you are following for. You should understand which all technologies work well together and you can integrate, and you should understand the underlying technologies. That's why I mentioned solution architects. Another one which I did not mention here, but I would like to give a special shout out, is to the people who are in the banking industry, as banking has been adapting RPA like crazy right now. So people who are in the banking will be looking for automation there, because there is a lot of redundant tasks there, as there is a lot of transactional data. So RPA is something that will revolutionize the banking industry. So if you are from the banking domain, I would recommend you to learn RPA. And what are the different skills that is required to be an RPA developer? So there is not one particular set of things that you need to know as a prerequisite to be working with RPA, right? Because it's a drag and drop tool which you can learn very easily. But having said that, you basically would need a very good analytical skill and problem solving abilities in order to solve the real world problems when it comes to you. The second would be knowledge of any programming language would help you miles, because even though it's just a drag and drop, these drag and drop functionalities are basically coded, right? So if you have the knowledge of coding or any programming language, you know the structure, the way to structure your program, and that would come in handy when you are working as an RPA developer. And the third would be the ability to integrate the different technologies which are different kind, right? If you have technologies which are of different kind, and if you have the ability to integrate them, this is one of the key skill requirements of working as an RPA developer. Now, as I've mentioned down here, that RPA tools are mostly drag and drop and very, very, very easy to use. So it's very easy to learn RPA, but the functionality that it gives is next level. Moving ahead, what are the different roles which are offered in the world right now as an RPA developer? So I've mentioned 3 here, which are the most asked about domains in RPA as a job. If you go at any website like Indeed or Glassdoor or anywhere, there you would find these 3 roles in abundance for RPA developers. And let's talk about the different roles and the responsibilities that comes along with those roles, right? So the first one we have on our hand is the process designer. Now, process designer is one of the roles which are there for the RPA developers. So the responsibilities that comes along with an process designer role is basically you are responsible for understanding the current process which is going on. You have to understand what is the current process. Then you need to come up with a very efficient way of conducting those processes and integrating RPA with that. So you need to design a process for that and how it can be more efficient in any way. And the final thing that you need to do is once you have designed those process, you'll obviously we'll try to put it in your production environment and try to make it work. There will be people who will be doing analytics and different stuff related to it, right? They will come back with feedbacks. This is something which we can do, which can implement things faster. And during the development and testing phase, you will be needed to make those specific changes to your process and make it more efficient. So these are the basic responsibilities of a process designer, that he needs to be involved throughout and make the entire process more efficient. So that is the first kind of role which is there for RPA developers, which is a process designer. The next one is an automation architect. Now, in my opinion and all the research that I have done, this is the highest paying RPA job which is out there, which is an automation architect. It generally comes up with a constraint that you should have some experience as an automation tester somewhere. So because that gives you a zest of how things work in those environments, and that makes it much easier for people to work in the role of automation architect. So the responsibilities that the automation architect will be taking on is, first of all, he needs to build those RPA projects using the different RPA tools which the organization is using. So he need a knowledge of different RPA tools based on which organization he's working for, and come up with the project and implement that thing, right? Second is automation architect is a member of the core automation team. Hence, he or she is required to communicate across the teams to make sure the process is in sync. Again, it's similar to DevOps. We'd say like people need to be communicating across very smoothly and efficiently to know how the tool is working and where the tool is at the current stage, so that there is no discrepancy and things can work smoothly. And the third thing that automation architect is expected to do is to use the experience in the programming knowledge that he has using the testing softwares that he has used before to solve the real world problems, and he needs to solve the day-to-day problems as well. So if you are an automation architect, you need to solve day-to-day problems. There might be bugs here and there and different things coming up daily. So you will need to solve those real world problems based on the experience that you have and work with it, right? The next role that we have is a very key one, which is production manager. Now, production manager is a very, very important role. His job is to ensure that the entire process is being triggered as it was intended, as it was decided, as discussed in the meetings all the time with the client or whatever. You need to, his job is to ensure that everything is working as it was intended to be. Second one is his job is to handle all the exceptions that comes out. So since he'll be discussing with the clients what is the intended product, there would be exceptions where the product might fail, or the testers wouldn't have known like this would be the outcome if someone enters this particular test case into it. So his job is to handle those exceptions as well. And then if he sees any bugs around, he needs to tell the automation architect that these are the bugs in your project, that whatever you have created, so you need to fix that. And then finally, the last job he has to do is to review the analytics, see the process, and if there is any scope for improvement, go and tell the process designer this is the way things are working, but this if we follow this particular methodology, we might go more efficient. So his job is to look at the analytics, review it properly, and then look for scope for improvements and report that to the process designer. So that is the basic role of the production manager. So the next question which comes into mind is which RPA tools to learn. Now, you'd be wondering, okay, we've talked a lot about different jobs that are out there, different companies are hiring, RPA is the next biggest thing. Which is the tool that I need to learn in order to be in the market, in demand right now? So there are, in my opinion and the market research that I have done, according to Forrester, there are 3 RPA tools which lead the market right now, and those are the 3 tools that you are seeing on your screen right now. First is UiPath, second is Automation Anywhere, and third one is Blue Prism. All of these 3 tools are the current market leaders, and everyone is looking for these tools to be in your resume when they are hiring a RPA developer. So let's talk about all of these tools one by one. So UiPath is a very, very, very simple tool, which is very easy to learn. It comes with a visual designer. It has a very simple user interface. It is very easy to learn, and it is highly effective. And another good thing that UiPath provides is a community edition. So you can, if you are a lone person who is trying to learn, you can just download it for free. You will get 2 bots for free, and you can implement the entire process that you want and see how things work, learn the entire tools, see different test cases, and like properly master the tool. So from learning perspective, in my opinion, UiPath is the best as it is free. Moving to the second tool that we have is Automation Anywhere. Now, Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism, both of these tools are very, very reliable and highly scalable, comes with a lot of different functionalities. Automation Anywhere has this option of bot store where you can go and get different programs which are pre-made for you. So you don't even have to make many programs. You can just download it from there and use it on the go. It is high. Both of these tools are highly adaptable to different changes. But the problem with both of these tools is Blue Prism though is not free altogether. There is no free version for Blue Prism out there. So even if you want to learn, or even if you want to see how the tool looks like, you need to pay first fully, and then you can go on to work with Blue Prism. It's fully licensed. When it comes to Automation Anywhere, you can get a free trial for some time to basically learn the tool. So if you're looking to learn, in my opinion, 2 of the tools which you can take into account is UiPath and Automation Anywhere, as it doesn't cost you anything to learn from there. And you can put that on your resume, and all of the companies which are hiring are looking for any of these three tools. Some are looking for some particular tools. In some cases it will be UiPath, somewhere it will be Automation Anywhere, somewhere it will be Blue Prism. But most of the companies that are hiring just put this information that they want anyone who has hands-on experience on UiPath, Automation Anywhere, or Blue Prism. That is the tool that they are looking for. So in my opinion, if you are looking to learn, go for UiPath because it's completely free. You can work a lot with it, or you can go for Automation Anywhere. You get a 30-day free trial. You can use that and you can learn along, right? So the next question that comes into mind is, okay, I learn RPA. What is the average salary that I'll be getting? So what is the average salary across different roles and different countries that we've seen? So I've seen the job roles of across different domains that we have in RPA. So production, a manager is there, and then there is automation architect, and all of those salaries I've seen. I've spread across different websites, and I've made an average out of it of what people are paying right now. So if you are a fresher and you are in United States, you are looking at something around $80,000. And if you are in India and you are a fresher, you are looking at a number around 7 LPA. Mind you, this might fluctuate according to your role and experience. So fresher is somewhere I'm saying 0 to 1 year or 2 year of work ex, and an experienced developer is somewhere across 2 to 6 years of work ex, right? So if you're an experienced developer in the United States, then you are looking at an average salary of at least $125,000. And if you are in India, you are looking at a number around 18 LPA, which is a huge number for any developer out there. 18 LPA in India is a very high number. So if you needed any motivation to learn RPA, this is it. There is a lot of money in it, and there is a lot of different big fishes in the sea who are hiring. So you should start learning RPA today, in my opinion. Let's talk about the learning path. So how would you go about learning RPA, right? So we've talked about various different things of where you will be coming across different job roles and what you will be expecting to do in those jobs and how you'll be implementing those things. So you don't have to worry anymore, because we at Intellipaat, we have created 2 very master courses which will help you understand completely what are the different use cases of RPA and where you can use it and understand the tools completely. So let me quickly show you the website and show you how our training looks like. So first one, we have 2 courses for you. First one is for the Automation Anywhere. So Automation Anywhere, it has both self-paced as well as an online program where you will be given an instructor who is an industry working professional who has a lot of experience. He will give you all the information that you need in those classes. He'll clear all your doubts and he'll assist you in working and getting your career on track with RPA. So we are looking at the different, if you want to read, you can read about the course here in detail on our website. And if you clear all of our certification, then you will get a certificate, something like this. If you finish all of your things on time, this is the certificate you are looking at if you finish our Automation Anywhere training program. And there's a different FAQs we have mentioned here, which you can follow to find out what the course is all about. And you can get the course content as well. So there is course content if you want to see here the different things that we'll be teaching you, the features of Automation Anywhere, cloning commands. IQ bots is a very, very, very intuitive feature that Automation Anywhere has provided. It is a very smart bot which works, and it is basically combining the RPA with AI, and they have produced the IQ bot. There are different bot operations that we'll be teaching you. We'll be teaching you about meta bots and how you can use meta bots in the Automation Anywhere training program. And finally, we'll be giving you a lot of different projects on RPA. So you'll get a lot of hands-on experience that you can directly put on your resume that we have worked on this industry level projects. And you can put that and people would look at it, because these projects are created with the help of industry experts who are working right now. So this is to make sure that your learning is towards the edge, right? And the second course that we offer here is RPA training for UiPath. So again, this course also comes with both self-paced as well as online training program, where we'll be taking both. Self-paced, if you want to work at, let's say, your pace, then you use the self-pace, and there is an online training program where the classes are conducted during the weekends or according to whatever the schedule is. what we offer here is 24/7 lifetime support and access. Now this, in the future, let's say even for automation anywhere, if there is some changes to the tool or the UiPath takes an update, and there is some changes and you want to learn, you can come back to us free of cost and learn the new content free of cost from us. So that is a lifetime free upgrade that we are giving you. We are giving you job assistance as well. We are giving you exercises and a lot of different projects. Plus we are providing you with all the details that I've already mentioned, like the certificate from us if you finish our program properly. And there will be various different things that we'll be covering in our course on RPA UiPath. So different things on UiPath, let's see. We'll be talking about recording. Now recording is one of the most important features of RPA, which saves a lot of time as it creates logics for you. So you don't have to even create logic while creating the program. You just need to do something and it will catch the logic and make it work for you. There will be workflow and Citrix manipulation. So if you're going into any working environment, they'll be using a lot of Citrix manipulation in their environment, as it is a very, very efficient way of doing things. And so if you are interested in any of these programs, you can look up here, and these are the different features that we'll be providing you with, and you can look at that. So let me just quickly go back to my slide and finish my presentation. So the final thing I want to talk about is the further learning. So an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Now this is a quote put up by one of my colleagues who loves talking about motivational things. So this is one of the most inspiring things that I've read. So invest in your knowledge so that you can be where you want to be financially as well as professionally in the future. So if you want to invest in your knowledge, you can go and read at our blogs, which is Intellipaat blogs. You can refer to that. You can also go for video tutorials, which are there on YouTube for free. You can just go there and learn from there. And if you're interested, you can just check out the course details, which I just showed you on the page there. And finally, since you have been so good and stayed towards the end, I'll give you a coupon, which is YouTube 30. You can apply this coupon and get flat 30% off on these courses. So that is that. And if you want to get more details about the different courses or are interested about the courses that I just showed you and want to talk to us course advisor, so there is a 24/7 course advisor available on our chat, as well as you can reach out to us on the following details mentioned on the screen. I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.